Welcome to all devotees. Today we continue Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2nd, Chapter 7, Schedule Incarnation, Shlok Kramanka 26. We try in this shloka the Lord's incarnation, relieving the earth burden and nurturing the devotees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayana
Narayanam
Namaskritya
Naram
Naram
Chaiva
Chaiva
Narottamam
Narottamam
Devim
Devim
Saraswati
Saraswati
Vyasam
Vyasam
Tata
Tata
Jayam
Jayam Udirayat
Udirayat
Nashta
Nashtaprayeshva
Prayeshva
Bhadreshu
Bhadreshu Nityam
Nityam
Bhagavata
Bhagavata
Sevaya
Sevaya
Bhagavati
Bhagavati
Uttama
Uttama
Shloke
Shloke
Bhaktir
Bhaktir
Bhavati
Bhavati
Naistiki
Nashtiki.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Shlok
Krishna.
Kramanka 26 Bhume Sura Itara Varuta Vimarditaya
भूमे सुरैतरवरुथ विमर्दितायाः
केशवयाय कलया शीतकृष्णकेश
क्लेशव्ययाय कलया शीतकृष्णकेशः
जातः करिष्यति जन अनुलप अनुपलक्ष्य मार्ग
जातः करिष्यति जन अनुपलक्ष्य मार्गः
कर्माणि च आत्ममहिमा उपनिबन्धनानि
कर्माणि च आत्ममहिमा उपनिबन्धनानि
भूमेः सुर इतरवरुत विमर्दिताय
भूमेः सुरैतरवरुथ विमर्दितायाः
क्लेशवयाय कलया शीतकृष्णकेश
क्लेशव्ययाय कलया शीतकृष्णकेशः
जातः करिष्यति जन अनुपलक्ष्य मार्ग
जातः करिष्यति जन अनुपलक्ष्य मार्गः
कर्माणि च आत्ममहिमा उपनिबन्धनानि
कर्माणि च आत्ममहिमा उपनिबन्धनानि
धूमेः सुर इतरा वरुत विमर्दितायाः क्लेशवयाय कलया शीतकृष्णकेशः जातः करिष्यति जन अनुपलक्ष्य मार्ग कर्माणि च आत्ममहिमा उपनिबन्धनानि
भूमेः सुरैतरवरुथ विमर्दितायाः क्लेशव्ययाय कलया शीतकृष्णकेशः जातः करिष्यति जन अनुपलक्ष्य मार्गः कर्माणि च आत्ममहिमा उपनिबन्धनानि
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When the world is overburdened by the fighting strength of kings who have no faith in God, the Lord, just to diminish the stress of the world, descend with his plenary portion. The Lord comes in his original form with beautiful black hair, and just to expand his transcendental glories, he acts extraordinarily. No one can properly estimate how great he is. Translation. This verse is specifically describing the appearance of Lord Krishna and his immediate expansion. Lord Baladeva, both Lord Krishna and the Lord Baladeva are one supreme personality of Godhead. The Lord is omnipotent and he expands himself in innumerable forms and energies, and the whole unit is known as one Supreme Brahman. Such extensions of the Lord are divided into two divisions, namely personal and differential. The personal expansions are called the Viṣṇu-tattva, and the differential expansions are called the Jīva-tattva. And in such expansional activity, Lord Baladev is the first personal expansion of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Vishnu Purana, as well as in the Mahabharata, both Krishna and Baladeva are mentioned as having beautiful black hair even in their advanced age. The Lord is called Anupalaksha Marga, or in still more technical Vedic term, Avana Manasa Gochara, one who is never to be seen or realized by the limited sense perception of the people in general. In Bhagavad Gita 7.25, it is said by the Lord, Na aham prakasha sarvasya Yoga Maya Samavruta. In other words, he reserves the right of not being exposed to anyone and everyone. Only bona fide devotees can know him by his specific symptoms, and out of many, many such symptoms, one symptom is mentioned here in this verse, that the Lord is Sita-Krishna-Kesha, or one who is observed always with beautiful black hair. Both Lord Krishna and Lord Baladeva have such hair on their heads, and thus, even in advanced age, they appeared like young boys, 16 years old. That is the particular symptom of the personality of Godhead. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that although he is the oldest personality among all living entities, he always looks like a new, youthful boy. That is the characteristics of a spiritual body. The material body is symptomized by birth, death, old age, and diseases, but the spiritual body is conspicuous by absence of those symptoms. Living entities who reside in the Vaikuntha lokas in eternal life and bliss have the same type of spiritual body without being affected by any signs of old age. Signs of old age. It is described in the Bhagavatam, Canto 6, that the party of Viṣṇu-tattva who came to deliver Ajamil from the clutches of the party of Yamraja appeared like youthful boys. Corroborating the description in this verse, it is ascertained thus that the spiritual bodies in the Vaikuntha lokas, either of the Lord or of the other inhabitants, are completely distinct from the material bodies of this world. Therefore, when the Lord descends from that world to this world, he descends in his spiritual body of Atmamaya, or internal potency, without any touch of the Bahiranga Maya, or external material energy. The allegation that the impersonal Brahman appears in this material world by accepting a material body is quite absurd. Therefore, the Lord, when he comes here, has not a material body but a spiritual body. Thus, impersonal Brahmajyoti is only the glaring effulgence of the body of the Lord, and there is no difference in quality between the body of the Lord and the impersonal ray of the Lord called Brahmajyoti. Now, the question is why the Lord, who is omnipotent, comes here to diminish the burden created upon the world by the unscrupulous kingly order. Certainly, the Lord does not need to come here personally for such purposes, but he actually descends to exhibit his transcendental activities in order to encourage his pure devotees who want to enjoy life by chanting the glories of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.13 and 14, it is stated that the Mahatmas, great devotees of the Lord, take pleasure in chanting of the activities of the Lord. All Vedic literatures are meant for turning one's attention toward the Lord and his transcendental activities. Thus, the activities of the Lord in his dealings with worldly people create a subject matter for discussion by his pure devotees. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेश तारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Today we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2nd, Chapter 7, Schedule Incarnation, and we try to understand Shloka Kramanka 26. In this Shloka, we understand that when on earth, in this word means, in this word, when the overburden uh, happened, that time Swayam himself, uh, s- uh, Supreme Personality of Godhead, taking the incarnation to vanish the overburden. That describing here, and here last paragraph of that Parpata, Prabhupada writing here, someone asked question, why Lord, who is omnipotent, comes here to diminish the burden created upon the world by unscrupulous kingly order. Here, the Prabhupada answering, and we know this also in Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, Shloka Kramanka 13 and 14. Uh, Prabhuji will tell us in nicely. Hare Krishna. कोण बोलताय मी हरे हरे?
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। भगवान श्री कृष्ण की जय। So today we are on to this verse which describes the divine pastimes, lila, incarnation of the Lord, particularly in the forms of Lord Krishna and Lord Baladeva. So the omnipotent nature of the Lord and his expansions is something which becomes very clear. While we have been going through all the incarnations, we have seen that the Lord incarnates at someone, Lord incarnates at someone. But today we see the Lord comes as it is. So this is not avatar. This is avatarihi. The Lord is endowed with infinite potency and expands himself into numerous forms and energies. Prabhupada talks about two types of expansions: the Viṣṇu-tattva, or the personal expansions, which are complete parts of the Lord, like Lord Balarama, and the Jīva-tattva, which are the differential expansions. So they are individual souls like us, who are parts of the Lord, but possess limited potencies. So while we are Anu, Lord is Vibhu. Lord Balramji, who is being referred to in this shloka, is the first person expansion of Lord Krishna. The Lord, being omnipotent, expands into countless forms and energies, and the entire unit is known as one Supreme Brahman. So here in this shloka, we see one important characteristics of the Lord: Sita-Krishna-Kesha. Sita-Krishna-Kesha. This is a very specific characteristic. He always has black, beautiful hair. So Sita is beautiful, Krishna is black, and Kesha is hair. So this is a special feature. Krishna and Balram, they have such hair. And even in advanced age, they appear like 16-year-old boys. This is a quality of the spiritual body, the eternal youth. Brahma Samhita states that although he is the oldest among all living beings, He always appears like a youthful boy. This spiritual body in Vaikuntha is completely distinct from the material bodies of this world. And when Krishna comes as it is, we understand this aspect. And then we desire to go back to the Vaikuntha Lokas to overcome the biggest problems of our life, which is birth, old age, disease, and death. But Krishna is invisible. He is revealed only to devotees. And that is why Lord is described as Anupalaksha Marga or Avangamanas Gochara, which means one who cannot be seen or realized by the limited sensory perceptions of the ordinary people. In fact, we know that Krishna reserves the right not to reveal himself to anyone. And that is the biggest qualification.
Qualification.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, as we were talking, Krishna does not reveal himself to everyone. Only genuine devotees can recognize him through his specific characteristics. In Bhagavad Gita, 25th shloka of the 7th chapter, Krishna says, Naham prakash sarvasya yogam maya samavruta mudha aham na bhijanati lokaham mam ajam avyayam. I'm never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. So Lord remains veiled by his Yogamaya and reveals his form only to his true devotees. So the purpose of Lord's incarnation is very particular. He does not need to personally descend to destroy sinners, to destroy the asuras. He incarnates to give joy to his devotees and to display his divine activities. Being omnipotent, the Lord has no need to personally come for such purposes of destruction of someone. But he descends to encourage his pure devotees who are eager to enjoy life by chanting his glories. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare. This that we understand Krishna and his glories is very important if we want him to appear in our heart as well. जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम एवं यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नयेति मामेति स अर्जुनः. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4.9 that one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take this birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So true success lies in not being entangled in the cycle of birth and death due to the results of karma. An intelligent person is eager to return to the Lord and never falls into the cycle of birth and death. So it is very important that we start renouncing the attachments of material highs and lows. Generally, we accept higher states of life as blessings and low states as curses. But such distinctions arise only due to interaction of the material modes, the three gunas. In fact, we'll be seeing in the Bhagavatam, fourth canto, 22nd verse, where, sorry, 22nd chapter, 36th verse, where we'll understand about these different stages of life. Par avare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. परे अवरे च ये भावा गुण व्यतीक अरदूरान न तेषां vidyate kshemam ishva vidvansita shisham. So Krishna says in this verse that the high and the low states of life are due to the interplay of the material qualities, and they are not permanent. So in reality, these states have no permanent existence at all, as all can be destroyed by the Supreme Controller any time if he desires. So we should not be attracted to the higher or the lower material conditions, but consider them equal and engage in devotional service. Economic development, sense gratification, they must be subordinate to the religious principles. Only then we can get liberation, we can get the qualities to be able to go back home, back to Godhead. So true engagement lies in inquiring about the real purpose of life, rendering devotional service to the Lord. When religion, economic development, sense gratification are harmonized, liberation from material birth, old age, disease is assured. Fortunately, present civilization is overly attached to economic development and sense gratification, and that is why we are seeing everything going towards the path of destruction. But Krishna, when he comes, he has his special mercy on us. As we see in this shloka very clearly, that whenever the earth is going to be overburdened by the fighting strength of the kings who have no faith in God, this is a very qualifying, important qualifying criteria which is coming there. And we are seeing it happening today. That people have lost faith in God. Everyone is becoming what do we call atheist, and there are so many quarrels and fights going on. And then there is distress of the world. So in the shloka we see, to diminish the distress of the world, descends with his plenary portion. So at that time, something like this was happening. Kansa was creating so much of problem. The asuras were there, the kings were there. So Krishna had to come. So here it is said that the Lord comes in his original form. The Lord comes in his original form along with his plenary expansion. Kalaya Sita-Krishna-Kesha Jata. And what is the original form? Beautiful black hair. And then he comes, which is very rare to be seen. Anupalaksha Marga. He does activities which are very, very transcendental. Karmani Atma Mahima Upanibandhanani. So this acts extraordinarily, which no one can properly estimate how great he is. So building upon this shloka, the further shlokas will be coming, explaining about his beautiful pastimes, which we are going to be seeing now. So the Lord has special mercy towards the devotees. He does not grant material opulence to his devotees to prevent them from becoming entangled in material world again. Because those who are engrossed in economic development, sense gratification, out of his mercy, Krishna takes everything away to lead them towards complete surrender. And that is why we see some people fear worshipping Vishnu, because Vaishnavas, they appear poor in material opulence. But the eternal truth is that we are parts and parcels of Krishna. We are not this body, we are the soul. Krishna explains this as one of the first and foremost points to Arjuna when he starts speaking about Bhagavad Gita. Na sat vidyate bhava, na bhava vidyate satah, ubhayo api drushtah, antah tu vayohan tattvadarshibhi. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existence, that is the material body, there is no endurance. And of the eternal, that is the soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both. So the body is perishable, but the soul is eternal. So women, education, family, everything is left behind with the body. Only the soul and its relationship with the Lord are eternal. Some time ago, I was attending one funeral. And at the funeral, the son was crying very, very much. And he was telling his father, Father, you had told that no one can take away education and family. But this is not true, Father. I see now. Only the soul is eternal. Education and family are lost when the body is left behind. So the path of a devotee is that he keeps only the minimum means necessary for sustenance and dedicates everything else to the service of Krishna, which is very, very important. And in fact, that is a qualification of a devotee. Because the person who is understanding acts with mind and intelligence perfectly controlled, gives up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus working, he is not affected by sinful reactions. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4.21, Nirashira yatta chittata atma त्यक्त सर्व परिग्रह शारीरम केवलम कर्म kurvan apnuti kilbisham. So Krishna conscious person does not expect good or bad results from action. The mind, the intelligence is fully controlled, knowing that they are a part of the Supreme and actions are performed only through the Supreme Spirit. When a hand is moving this way, it does not move on its own, but by the effort of the entire body. So Krishna conscious person has always to be aligned with the Supreme's will, having no desire for personal sense gratification. Anya bilashita shunyam. We have to act as part of God's mechanism, free from personal selfish motives. Just as a machine requires oiling and cleaning, a Krishna conscious person sustains themselves through karma to remain fit for the Lord's loving service. But then a devotee is immune to the reaction of action. We see the animals being taken by their owners, but they don't claim the ownership over the body. And in fact, a cruel owner may kill an animal, yet it does not protest. So, fully engaged in self realization, a devotee spends little time falsely possessing material objects. So, we do not accumulate wealth through unfair means for bodily maintenance, remaining free from material sins. We may earn millions, but live minimally, spending only on necessities and using the rest in Lord's service. So, as mentioned by Prabhupada ji in the purport, we have two possibilities for life. We can become a householder, engaging in minimal enjoyment and maximum service. Or secondly, we can become a celibate, a renunciate, dedicating entire life to the Lord's service. So, to conclude, this shloka is very, very important. Lord Krishna's incarnation is not incarnation, it is a descent. It is only for destroying, not only for destroying sinners, but also for the joy of his devotees to inspire their devotion. So one who understands these divine pastimes becomes liberated from the cycle of birth and death and attains the eternal abode. Therefore, we should recognize the impermanence of this material pleasure and pains and engage solely in devotional service. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So one specific characteristic came out of this shloka, that is Lord Krishna and his immediate expansion, Lord Baladeva, both are same supreme personalities. Even Vishnu Puran, Mahabharata mention both have beautiful black hair, even in advanced age. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.